Much better second half performance. What a way for Roberto Firmino to clinch it at the end, Michael.
Phenomenal header, big goal, big goal. Puts a nice little cushion there for Liverpool at the top of the table. Of course, long way to go, but that's a bit of a statement tonight, beating a good Tottenham side who were poor in the first half, but certainly improved in the second half.
You've got to give Liverpool credit because Spurs put in a much better showing in that second period.
Yeah, they did. They pushed up a little bit more. They pressed a little bit higher. You felt as if they were going to hang on, but Liverpool, I think, deserved the win in the end. The amount of possession they had, the chances that were over. Spurs had their chances second half, but it was always on that sort of counter break. It wasn't controlled. They got in behind a couple of times, but it wasn't really by good play. And I thought Liverpool in the end were worthy of the 3 points.
8 games played out then in match week 13. This is how it all unfolded. So after Chelsea and Manchester City both dropped points on Tuesday, 10-man Arsenal then ended their losing run with a 1-1 draw at home to Southampton. Former gunner Theo Walcott scoring for the Saints before Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang equalised with his first in 6. Gabriel, incidentally, was sent off for 2 yellows after 62 minutes. Leeds hit 5 past Newcastle for only their second win in 7. Everton defeating Leicester for back-to-back wins. It finished goalless between Fulham and Brighton. Liverpool beating Tottenham very late on, as we've seen, and it finished 1 apiece between West Ham and Crystal Palace. As far as the table's concerned, well, it's a huge night for Liverpool. After that late win for them, the Reds go 3 points clear at the top. They've now got 28 points to their name. Tottenham in second on 25, 2 points behind Southampton, up to third, 1 defeat in 11 for Ralph Hasenhüttl's side. Everton up to 5th after their win over Leicester. They're 3 points off the top. In fact, they're now 5 points off the top, with West Ham up to 7th, going above Manchester City. Bottom club Sheffield United host Manchester United on Thursday. Second bottom West Brom announced the appointment of Sam Allardyce as their new manager as he replaces Slaven Bilic. Burnley drop into the bottom 3 ahead of their trip to Villa on Thursday. Fulham move out of the relegation zone after that point against Brighton. Arsenal 15th, still 5 points above the relegation zone. Leeds are up in 13th after that massive win over Newcastle United.
Us dominating with the ball, creating chances and then get done on the counter in the first half, so we'll be disappointed with that because we knew that was the case. But overall, I thought the performance was outstanding. I thought we dominated for large periods with the ball, created some good chances, and never stopped, kept going right until the end and got the winner, which I think we deserved.
And it's a habit, a regular habit in this incredible home run you've had. But did you sense that it might just have passed you by tonight?
Well, we just concentrate on keep going until the whistle goes. You know, we don't think about records of outcomes. We're here to win games, and we don't stop until the final whistle. You know, unfortunately, at the weekend, we didn't manage to find the winner. Today, we did. So I'm delighted with the lads. I thought the performance was outstanding and deserved the 3 points.
Best performance of the season and the mark of champions, would you say, tonight?
I'd say it's one of our best performances of the season. I think personally, you know, with the ball, without the ball, I thought counter press was really good. Winning the ball back high up, relentless with the pressure. So, no, I'm over the moon, as you can see.
And a word on your centre-back as well, making his Premier League debut tonight, Rhys Williams.
Well, I told you before the game he'd been outstanding, and I hoped for the same tonight, and he was outstanding again. I thought he was one of the best players on the park, won majority of things in the air, defended. I can hear him talking all the time for such a young lad, so delighted for him. But not just him, I thought, look, Fabinho next to him, the whole back four and the whole team, to be honest.
And you go back to the top, of course, and what does it mean as well to have done it by beating the team that were top and a little dent in their record?
Well, again, we just want to focus on ourselves, and we keep saying this and it might get boring, but we're focused on ourselves, and yes, it might give them another dent with it because we've got the 3 points, but it's more about us and what we do, and we're delighted with the 3 points, and then our focus has got to be now on the weekend, which comes quick against Palace, who are a very good side, as you know, and got some very good results of late, so that'll be a tough test for us.
And as you can see, the 2,000 or so Liverpool fans just over my shoulder making their way out of Anfield after what was an incredible end to that game involving the top 2 in the Premier League, and Liverpool leaving it so late but also gives it that much sweeter conclusion as far as their supporters are concerned. It's now 66 games unbeaten in the league at Anfield, April 2017. That is a staggering run. Jordan Henderson there Interestingly said, that was their best performance this season, Michael. Would you agree?
In the first half, they played particularly well. Second half, they were probing. Tottenham looked more dangerous on the counter-attack. They went a little bit more direct, which we'll have a look at in a while. But I thought they played very well. You're comparing them probably to the last couple of seasons when virtually every game they were just off the scale in terms of their level of performance. But this season they're putting a few good performances at home. They've been quite flaky away from home. But tonight, against a very, very good side with a makeshift centre-half pairing against two of the world's best, they were very good and probably deserved the win.
And that's the point here, isn't it? Because yes, whether Jose Mourinho agrees with it or not, they have got a fair few players missing. But then to, hold off the challenge of Tottenham and to have this, I suppose, the threat of the unbeaten run hanging over them.
I think the scary thing for everyone else in the Premier League is they haven't hit top gear yet.
Yeah.
They've been nowhere near it. Like Michael said, last year they put in some wonderful, wonderful performances. They're nowhere near that. They got closer to it today in spells, but there's still something missing, but they're getting over the line. They're winning. Today they deserve to win. They were the better football team without a doubt. But yeah, they've had to reshuffle that back unit. Fabinho's doing a great job. He had the youngster Williams, alongside him, and he held his hand, if you like, and coaxed him, and the young kid played ever so well. But they're doing it without their top players playing as well. So it's frightening. They've still got time to hit top gear, and if they do, wow, then they could find themselves go away from the rest of the group. They haven't played like that yet. There's still a lot of points to be won and lost for Liverpool, but if they get anywhere near their top form, then it's going to be Liverpool's season.
In fact, Michael, you were a little bit nervous, weren't you, when you first found out that Reece Williams will be starting at centre-half?
Well, I mean, I've got confidence in the lad, but you're talking about probably the best, or one of the best pairings in world football in Son and Kane. And of course, then you add Firmino to that pairing, who is quite naturally a centre midfielder, and him being played back there is taking something out of the midfield as well. I thought tonight was a game, particularly for Thiago, if he was fit, with that extra body in midfield, that extra spare man. I mean, he could have controlled everything about that game tonight, but of course another one on the injured list. But no, it was always going to be the key area of the game. Can Liverpool's makeshift centre-halves control what is a brilliant pairing up front for Tottenham? And they did, by and large. Second half, a couple of the longer balls caught them out. But as I say, in the main, it was total domination from Liverpool.
How good a header was this from Roberto Firmino?
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of outswing corners, but that was absolutely put on the tee really for Firmino. He gets free. Obviously, Tottenham do a little bit of zonal marking in the 6-yard box, but they're pretty much man-to-man. And Eric Dyer there lying on the floor, he thinks he's been blocked, but nothing wrong with that, right into the top corner.
I think Williams run round the back on his own. Alderweireld actually ends up with two, and he just hesitates, tries to sort of back away a little bit, and that's the split second that Firmino gets that space. And what a finish though, technically. And there's his run up to the Kop, 2,000 people in there. It doesn't matter if it's full or not. What a time to score, because your opponents basically can't come back at you.
You love that celebration.
It's a great, there was a shot just earlier when we saw him score the goal and run the whole length, in his face, I mean, the joy. I think the fans being back as well is part of that. And you see, I don't think I've seen many times someone score at the Anfield Road end and run all the way down to the Kop to celebrate. But just because the fans are there, he had to do it.
It's better than running to a photographer or someone like that. Let's be fair, 2,000.
In fact, it almost seems to be a recurring theme of late, the fact that the 2,000 home supporters have made quite a bit of difference in terms of getting the home teams over the line. But also for Roberto Firmino, how much of a sweet moment is that? Because he hasn't been at his most prolific, and I was going to say that's not always been his number one game. It's of course, linking up with the likes of Mane and Salah, but goals have been of short supply from him.
They have, yeah. I don't totally buy that, Firmino doesn't have to score because he adds so much. I don't quite buy that. If you're playing as that in that position for Liverpool, you do need to chip in, no matter how much you add to the game. And no question about it, I'd say in recent months he's probably not been at his brilliant best. But he does score big goals, and there's not many bigger than that to nick 3 points.
Do you think it's really difficult for him though? Because he does get himself into that midfield area, and he drops in there, and it's Mane and Salah that go in behind. So they end up in areas. On a heat map, you'd see them more as centre forwards than Firmino. The problem I got, maybe a little thing that he can get better, that was a set play, but a little bit like Teddy Sheringham used to play. He used to drop in there, but then he would arrive in the box as the second phase, almost like a midfield player going in there. Because he drops in so many times, you've got to say, he's a midfield player in many ways, like a number 10, but coming back that way to get the ball rather than playing in there.